Well, I guess I'm going to put myself out there. My name is Aaron Fitch, and I think I have an idea that could potentially revolutionize the way that we generate electricity or use motors in any fashion. And I haven't seen this quite done, like I'm designing it quite yet, so I hope you're intrigued. So the first thing we'll do to find this invention is to go to Mercury engine, not .com, but .net. .net. Okay. So now we're here on the main page. Okay. This is our little overview. Just by the way, this is not patented. Now it's in the public space. It's been published, so you can't really patent this design. Any improvements, I highly recommend you don't, because anything above 20% efficiency is usually suppressed by the government, classified, and you just don't want to patent it because, you know, it gives them opportunity to suppress it so that their lobbyists can make more money, or their companies that employ the lobbyists, whatever. Anyways, so the point is we're trying to get closer to accessing 0-point energy, and if you don't know what 0-point energy is, it means that like there's a field of energy that exists around all of us. I mean that's a 0-point energy. It's a quantum field theory kind of a thing, and it kind of relates to what Tesla said about the ether and whatnot. We also know that dark matter is another part of the universe, and we don't understand that. But 0-point energy is basically where all energy is derived from, because energy can't be created or destroyed; it can only be converted. But yeah, anyways, I would highly recommend, if you actually work on this, do not patent what you make. Just don't do it. It's not worth it, and we all need it more than you need the paycheck. So, anyways. Okay, and then I've got an interactive 3D design here as well, if you want to check that out. It doesn't have any of the notes. If you actually go to the Tinkercad design, you'll find a whole bunch of notes in here that will explain to you the different components of the machine, but we're not going to get into that in this video. The next video in the series will be an in-depth look, and we'll actually go through all of the notes inside of the CAD design. So basically the goal is to use this to create what's called an EMF, electromagnetic field feedback loop. So in here, I'll just zoom in real quick. So inside of this cylinder in the middle is mercury, and then you have a turbine, or you can think of it like a propeller. So there's a turbine inside of the mercury, and if you expose mercury to direct current or EMF, it will begin to rotate on its own. It just rotates. And so I was thinking, well, what if you were to supply it with all of the electricity that comes out of these coils? Because I'll back up a little bit. The way, if anyone doesn't know, the way that an electromagnetic motor works, or even an alternator in your car, any electric motor works like this. So you've got these magnets here on the outside, sometimes they're on the inside, depends on the design, and then you've got coils of copper. And whenever the magnets pass by the coils of copper, it creates an electric charge inside of the copper coils, and then those copper coils will then send out the current into opposite ends of the coil. So it literally generates electricity to run a magnet over a copper coil. So that's kind of the rudimentary design of what this is. But that also, it doesn't only just generate electricity in the coils, it also will create an electromagnetic field. So the idea is that we feed all of the electricity that these coils are creating back into the mercury. Like, we feed it right back into the mercury, and then we also make the cylinder a material that allows the EMF, the electromagnetic field, we allow that to go back into the mercury too. We've also got a whole bunch of magnets down here, all to support the extreme spin of the mercury. So what we're doing is we're creating a feedback loop. So this is generating electricity, and then as the Mercury spins, not only is it spinning the turbine or the propeller, not only is it spinning the turbine, it's also generating its own EMF field. So, I mean, if designed right, then potentially you could create basically maybe you could create a physical paradox to where there would be no other option but for the machine to draw on 0 point energy because of that feedback loop. Like if you could stabilize it, could you create a feedback loop? But I made this whole big old thing because, I mean, just the concept of it, and even if it isn't completely self-sustaining, it will be incredibly efficient. In fact, like, I mean, just the idea of that, the only danger is that it's Mercury, so Mercury that's kind of a no-no. Everyone's kind of concerned about that. But I mean, if you could design it right and build it right, maybe we could make it safe. But that is pretty much the rundown. If you want to go into all of the details of this, I've also got. You need to make sure that you check this out. These warnings for how to handle Mercury and the heat that will be generated off of it. These are very important for you to read. So I thoroughly encourage you to go to my website and then tinker this. Whenever you get to the interactive 3D design page, click this top link here, go to tinker this or download, save it, and please share it if you think it's a cool idea. And if you are an engineer or a person of means, I thoroughly encourage you to consider joining us. It would be amazing if we can make something like this work. So, anyways, I hope you guys have a good day. Once again, my name is Aaron, and I will see you in the next video.